Ladies and gentlemen, I have taken heed to a lot of people's emails, and I know that people can be a little bit sensitive when I talk about something that hits home for them. Maybe I talk about something that comes out of your city, out of your state, maybe even out of your own family. And I know a lot of times my words bother people. But here's my stance. What I can't understand is how my words about the situation that came about with these stories bothers you more than the fact that there is a child that was injured, hurt, or murdered. And for the life of me, that's why I continue to keep presenting these stories in the way that I do, because I want people to put their focus and advocate for children first. Not second, third, fourth, or fifth. Not after you curse me out or tell me how you don't like this little thing I got attached to my beard down here. And I'm gonna tell you guys, even crazier, I've had more people complain about my little beard braid than they do about these babies. Now, don't y'all find that sad, or do y'all think I'm just being facetious? I am being dead honest with you guys. I've had more people complain about my looks than they do about these people who continue to keep hurting and murdering our children, okay? Now, I've already heard what the grandparents had to say about that individual that you just saw on my screen. So I know that they're not going to be happy with this story, but I got to keep it real. I'm assuming that's why y'all are here. You shouldn't be here to listen to the news. You should be here to hear my thoughts, my opinion, and my commentary. If you want to hear the news, Google search it, and you can go somewhere else. For everybody else that is here to support our babies, here's the story. It comes out of Mobile, Alabama. 1 week after Sam Woods last spoke with his son, his family is now facing a devastating reality. His son that you guys saw on my screen, and that beautiful little baby right there, we're going to talk about her here in just a moment. Let me get him back up on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Curtis Woods, who was 22 years old currently. And he's been charged with attempted murder. And his daughter is clinging to life after the 22-month-old baby was stabbed. Was stabbed at their home in Edgewood Villas on Monday night, almost killing her. And I want to reiterate, almost. So the baby is a very strong-spirited baby, and this little baby is clinging to life. Let me show her on the screen if you guys do not mind. Let me see here. Get her face up on the screen so you guys can see the little girl that I'm talking about. I want y'all to look at this picture and tell me, does that not warm your heart when you look into that little baby's eyes right there? And I want y'all to think about this. What we're here to do is paint a picture. And for the life of me, I can't understand why there would be any reason any human being on earth that has blood pumping inside of their chest and inside of their heart would ever want to do something to this beautiful little baby right here. She seems so precious. She's so full of life. Now, I want you guys to remember, she's still alive right now, but she's been stabbed by her father. She is still alive. Put her prayer hands up in the chat if you heard me say that. She's clinging to life right now, but she was injured by her father. Okay? Now, doctors say that that little girl, McKinley Woods, with her big, beautiful brown eyes and ringlet curls, is a miracle baby. They quote, "I prayed and asked the Lord, just give me my grandbaby," said Sam Woods, who was the grandfather. An innocent child, just 22 months old, a victim of the unthinkable. They let us know that this baby had actually flatlined twice. The baby flatlined twice. But baby McKinley is a fighter, and she's pulling through. Her grandfather's prayers have been answered. Would say that baby McKinley is in the ICU, and she's currently in stable condition. So we finally can present a story that has a little bit of light at the end of that tunnel. And that's a beautiful thing. Don't y'all think that's a beautiful thing? We're thankful that this baby is trying to fight and pull through. Just as long as she lived, that's all I wanted to hear, according to the grandfather. Now, Woods and his wife drove through the night, rushing to their home in Birmingham to Mobile as soon as they got got the gut-wrenching news. Ever since yesterday, it seems like it's not true. Would say that his son, that guy, Curtis, has been battling with mental health lately and was on medication. Where are all my people out there that are familiar with mental health? Where are all the people, I don't know if they want to call themselves out in the chat, but where are all the people out there that are always telling me about these mothers in these situations? Oh, the mother was going through something. She was going through postpartum depression and she had mental issues. She was diagnosed clinically with mental issues. How many times have you guys seen people talk about that? But here's a strange fact. This is a fact. More times than none, you'll have it where the father, a man, any male individual is usually not going to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to having a mental issue, when it comes to hurting really anybody, let alone a baby. But in a lot of cases, they do give that excuse, and it is an excuse. I don't care what anybody says, whether it's medically diagnosed, I don't care. It is an excuse to give any person an excuse for hurting a child, but you allow them to be parents. You allow them to be caretakers. You allow them to raise children, and that's okay. So apparently they were stable enough to raise kids, but when they do something to kids, you say, well, Days didn't know no better, boss. Days didn't know no better. What? You can't have it both ways. You cannot. And what that does is it actually produces people with this infallible mentality, and they just think that they can't do anything wrong. And that's detrimental. It is dangerous to our society to continue to let people get away with hurting children. And I'll say this again, and I'm going to always say it this exact way. If you have mental issues and your mental issues present a danger to children, then you should not be a parent. Anybody out there have an issue with what I just said? Does anybody have issues digesting what I just laid down? Because I think it's pretty simple. If your mental issues incapacitate you to the point to where you can't handle a kid, can't deal with a kid, can't reason with a kid, can't raise a kid, can't make proper decisions for children who cannot speak for themselves nor defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers, then you should not be around children. You should not be a parent. And maybe we should take it a step further. Maybe you shouldn't even have any reproductive rights in this life. Because last time I checked, if you continue to allow a problem to fester, it's going to make everything around us worse. And I think that's a very simple thing that we could start to fix. Okay? Now, let me continue to tell this story. Uh-oh, went to the wrong one. Let's go back here. He said that his son was battling demons. He said that his son was not in the right state of mind. He was talking about demons, and they were after me and my family. Son, where is this all coming from? He want to be a prophet. Wood says to add to an already tragic situation, the mugshot of his son, that one right there, is of him smiling. He has a little grin on his face. I don't know if y'all can see that for those who are watching in the back of the room. He has a little bit of a smug look on his face, and I'm going to tell y'all something. That's really the thing that really bothered me with this particular story. That's not mental illness. That seems to be a person that just does not give a crap. Okay? He has that grin on his face, and he said that let me know that that's not my son. Him being a man, he's going to have to face that because of what he did. But the thing is, he ain't grieved yet. He means he hasn't grieved yet. He ain't hurt. He ain't felt because he really don't know what's going on. But when he take his medicine and then realizes when he wakes up, this is going to tear him up. Now, Wood says he planned to try to find a way to get his son the medical attention he needs. He wants his son's wife to know that they love her and will support her and McKinley with whatever they need. But again, They allowed this man that they said had ongoing issues to be a father and to be around his kids. And I'm sorry, you just can't have it both ways. If you cannot understand that you shouldn't do anything but love that little beautiful little baby with those big beautiful eyes right there, if you look into that face and you want to hurt that face, then in my opinion, you are just not suitable to be a parent, and you should be held to the fullest extent of the law, even if that's going to cost him his life. Life in prison. That's what I'm saying he should get. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and let you listen to the news videos, because there was only a couple. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Here we go. Let's get it.
And for Fox 10 News, I'm Lenny Slagan.
I'm Byron Day. Let's get right to breaking news at 5.
And first tonight, new details about that horrific stabbing of a toddler. Her father charged with attempted murder, the child hanging on for life.
Let's get right to our investigative reporter, Brendan Kirby, at Children and Women's Hospital with the very latest. Brendan?
Well, Byron and Lenise, police investigators are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. But the bottom line, 22-month-old McKinley Woods finds herself in critical condition tonight at Children's and Women's Hospital. That's according to Police Chief Lawrence Batiste, who says this incident rises above the other crimes he sees on a day-to-day basis.
I kind of get my hair in a ruffle when infants or children are harmed or the elderly in our community are harmed. Simply because I believe from the perspective of our infants, they're so vulnerable and they depend on us for everything. I can't imagine it. I mean, I'm a father. I know what it feels like to raise children.
The unthinkable crime happened last night at Edgewood Villas Apartments off Dauphin Island Parkway. Chief Batiste says investigators are still trying to figure out what happened, but it ended with the toddler suffering a stab wound to the abdomen. Police say they had to use a taser to subdue the child's father, Curtis Woods. He's being held at Mobile County Metro Jail on an attempted murder charge. Batiste says Woods was wanted on 3 active warrants: a drug charge from St. Clair County, a DUI from Helena, and a marijuana possession charge from Hoover. The chief says the family is new to the Mobile area. Neighbors we spoke to didn't want to go on camera, but one woman says she believes the family was in the process of moving into the apartment just yesterday. The chief says investigators have spoken with Woods, and he adds he's not sure what the man has to say.
I am asking that the community continue to pray for the Woods family and for the recovery of little McKinley Woods. And so right now our focus and attention on is making sure that we prepare a case that's strong enough to prosecute.
There's still so many unanswered questions, and chief among them, what could have possibly set off a chain of events that ended with the stabbing of a child who had not yet reached her 2nd birthday? Reporting live in Mobile, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.
Here's the next video.
Says to add. And first up, the father of a man accused of stabbing his little girl, speaking with Fox 10 News about the allegations against the 22-year-old. And also the devastating reality his family is faced with tonight.
Yeah, Fox 10 News' Morella Porter joining us live with the story. And Morella, the suspect's father, telling you today that he last talked with his son a week ago.
Right, Byron. And after this, Sam Woods and his family are just in an extremely hard place. His son charged with attempted murder and his precious granddaughter clinging to life. And all around, it's just a horrible situation.
Doctors say sweet McKinley Woods, with her big, beautiful brown eyes and ringlet curls, is a miracle baby.
I prayed and I asked the Lord, I said, just give me my grandbaby.
An innocent child, just 22 months old, a victim of the unthinkable. Her father, 22-year-old Curtis Woods, accused of stabbing her at their home in the Edgewood Villas last night, nearly killing her.
They just let us know that she had flatlined twice.
Baby McKinley, a fighter, pulling through. Her grandfather, Sam Wood's prayers answered.
Just long as she lived. That's all I wanted to hear.
Woods and his wife rushing from Birmingham to Mobile as soon as they got the gut-wrenching news.
Ever since yesterday, it seems like this ain't true.
Woods says his son Curtis has been battling with his mental health lately and was on medication.
He's not in the right state of mind. He was talking about demons, and he was talking about they after me and my family, and I'm like, son, where's all this coming from? He want to be a prophet.
Woods says to add to such a tragic situation, this mugshot taken of his son just hours after allegedly stabbing his own daughter is a sign something isn't right.
When I looked at the mugshot, you got a little grin on it, and that's what I'm saying. That let me know. I said that's not my son. Him being a man, he gotta face that because of what he did. When he take his medicine, and then when he realized what actually really happened, it's gonna tear him up.
Now, Woods says he plans to try and get his son the medical attention he needs, and he says he wants his son's wife to know that they love her and will support she and McKinley with whatever they need. Live in Mobile, Morella Porter, Fox 10 News.
Let me say this real quick. We're going to take a pause real quick. Let me say this real quick before I show you guys these other two videos. When it comes to that situation, and I understand that a father is going to be a father, and maybe I'm just taking a harsh stance with this, but in my opinion, I think that the grandfather needs to now just set his sights on the recovery of his granddaughter. And just whatever happens to your son in court is whatever happens. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just, you can't make that poor of a decision with your own child's life and expect for the world to feel sorry for you. But one thing that you do know is that your granddaughter is still alive. She has a chance now to grow up and become something great. And I'm sorry, grandfather, but your son did not grow up to become something great at all. Okay? He's got issues that can't be fixed. Medication is not going to fix it because clearly it hadn't fixed anything up until this point. It hasn't stopped him from having mental issues. And again, I personally believe that people with mental issues that present a danger to their kids shouldn't be around kids. It's my opinion. I almost forgot to tell you guys that this man has a criminal history. Whether you consider it to be significant or not, I think it does make a difference to just show that he does not make solid decisions. So I want y'all to hear this end portion of the news. Listen at this.
As of now, there is no court date shown set for Woods. This is his first arrest in Mobile County. However, he does have a criminal history in St. Clair County, Alabama, involving drugs and traffic violations.
Involving drugs and traffic violations. Let's listen at that again one more time. Let y'all hear that one more time and understand why I'm casting judgment on him the way that I am.
The child itself.
As of now, there is no court date shown set for Woods. This is his first arrest in Mobile County. However, he does have a criminal history in St. Clair County, Alabama, involving drugs and traffic violations. Reporting live in Mobile, I'm Deanna Winter for WKRG News 5.
Still anybody still feel sorry for this dad yet? Huh? My closing thoughts about this is I understand that the grandfather is really trying to kind of make the best of this situation that he can, not only for trying to be there for his granddaughter, and they did do that. They took to the highways to try to be there for her, which is awesome. And that little girl is a beautiful little girl. She's a sweet little girl. And I hope for their sake that she pulls through and makes a full recovery. If you guys hope that she makes a full recovery, you could post a prayer hand emoji in the chat, send them some love that way, and let them know that we are here and we do support them in that way. Because we definitely hope that that baby will survive and thrive. Hopefully this baby can grow up and become something great. That's definitely what we want to see. But as far as his son, for what he did, there are just some things that are just not excusable. There are just some things that are just not forgivable. And you trying to murder your daughter, to me, is not a forgivable thing. You've set your fate, and I think you need to live with that at this point, and may God have mercy on your soul. Because at the end of the day, I think his time on earth should be done. Like I said, I know that's a harsh stance, but guess what? I believe that these babies need an advocate. These babies need a voice. These babies need somebody that's going to put a strong foot down to let the world know that we're not playing. And we're not going to continue to keep every single day, every single month, every single week, kicking back and just watching these stories happen. We're going to start to be proactive. We're going to start voting the right people in to make sure that they take a harsh stance against anybody who would hurt our babies, because they cannot speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers. So I'm glad that this little girl is going to survive. I want to put some respect on her name, Baby McKinley Woods. Little girl, we cannot wait for you to grow up and become something great. And we also can't wait to see what the fate of your father is going to be for what he did to that precious little baby right there. Let me see if I can get one more picture of her up there, that beautiful little smile. Let's see if I can get one more picture. Right there. We hope that we see that this young princess grows up and becomes a queen. That would be awesome, right? This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we're going to continue to keep speaking for our babies and give them a voice. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. Okay, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Click that thumbs up and show some love to these babies, okay? We'll see you guys on the next stream.